Therefore, the one who has spirituality in his life is portrayed as Dasrath. Dasrath is the one who is able to command his 10 senses. Das Rath. Das means 10 and Rath means the chariot. This body is like a chariot with 10 organs. 5 physical sense organs and 5 subtle Gyanendriya sense organs. So when we have command upon all the 10 sense organs, we are also known as Dasrath. The body is the chariot with the 10 horses. The organs are very much like the horses. So once we are able to control the sense organs, we are able to develop a very good intellect, or we are able to develop the wisdom in our practical life. Dasrath was such a character who was shown with 3 wives. He was the king of Ayodhya. Ayodhya means a place which is devoid of war. Means devoid. Yodhya means where there was never wars taken place. So it was such a peaceful place. He was the king of Ayodhya, and he had everything that nature could bestow on him. Not only that, but the only thing he was lacking in his life was he did not have some heirs. And that is why he performed a sacrificial fire. And the essence that he got from the sacrificial fire, he distributed them between his 3 wives. And the 3 wives are the 3 specialities that he had in his life. A one who has self-sovereignty, a one who is able to master his sense organs, has 3 specialities or main characteristics in his life, and these are the 3 wives. Kaushalya, the embodiment of all efficiencies. Kaushal means efficiency. So the one who is the embodiment of efficiency, Kaikeyi is the one who is the embodiment of all attainments, and Sumitra, who did not have any enmity with anybody, who had friendship with everyone, but that friendship was also not based on attachment, a detached friendship. So this is how, these are the 3 specialities of King Dashrath, a self-sovereign soul who is the embodiment of all efficiency, embodiment of all attainments, and who had detachment in his life and friendship at all levels. And as a fruit, he had 4 sons. And these 4 sons are depicted as Sri Ram, the embodiment of wisdom; Bharat, the embodiment of dedication; Lakshmana, the embodiment of renunciation; and Shatrughna, the embodiment of cooperation. So a soul who is self-sovereign, who has the 3 specialities, he has a balance in his life between the 4 pillars, which Raj Yoga teaches us, and the 4 subjects that you were told on the first day. Spiritual knowledge, depicted as wisdom. Meditation means dedication of the intellect towards the Supreme. Renunciation means practical application of spirituality, dharana, and cooperation, Shatrughna, seva, service to humanity. So these are the four subjects that God also comes to teach us, and how to maintain a balance between all the four. This is what is shown in Ramayana. That if we take the support of these four sons, inculcate them in our life also, wisdom, dedication, renunciation and cooperation, our lives can become a very beautiful life. And that is why as these four sons grew up, in order to maintain a balance, they were sent to sage Vashishta for knowledge, so that they are able to have that wisdom of how to maintain the balance between the four and to function in life. So sage Vashishta is personified as the embodiment of knowledge, who teaches and trains the four princes of how to live in harmony. And when they showed that efficiency of staying in harmony, that is when their education was also over. Spiritual knowledge and the spiritual study enables us to maintain the balance or bring harmony of these four things in our life as well. And that is why after sage Vashishta, it is shown that when they come back to the palace, sage Vishwamitra comes to take them with them. And who is sage Vishwamitra? Vishwamitra means when he takes wisdom and renunciation with him through the spiritual study, through the inculcation of spiritual knowledge, the renunciation of the body consciousness of I. When ego is renunciated from our life, we are able to inculcate true wisdom. And this is how we are able to develop an attitude of universal brotherhood in the world. Vishwamitra. Vishwa means universe. Mitra means brotherhood. Then only we are able to develop the attitude of universal brotherhood in the world and function on the basis of this attitude. So this is the attitude that is the result of the spiritual study that we have regularly in our life. It is said that sage Vishwamitra took the princes, both the princes, to kill the evil forces like Tarka, who was continuously disturbing the sages in the performance of the sacrificial fires. So whenever there is the attitude of universal brotherhood combined with wisdom and renunciation, evil forces like Tarka, that is lust, anger, cannot have its space in our life. We are able to completely conquer them and become a master. As we see further, that when the sacrificial fire was performed by the sages and the holy saints, yajna means an act of performance for benevolence for all. Whenever any yajna is performed, a sacrificial fire is performed, it has a feeling that everyone should be benefited through this sacrificial fire. So it is an act of benevolence for the entire world. So when we have the attitude of universal brotherhood combined with wisdom and renunciation, we can become protectors of all the divine qualities by performing the acts of benevolence towards all. And this is how we are able to overcome the evil powers negative elements and forces which are trying to pressurize the human beings in their practical life. So even one soul can protect the good from the evil in the society if they are able to practice this act of benevolence in their life. So this is how we overcome those devils, asuras, who are trying to put obstacles, who are trying to stop those people who are doing the acts of benevolence for all. There are such forces in today's world as well. Whoever is trying to do something good, they will try to stop him. The evil elements and forces try to stop them. Do not allow them to function. This is what is happening. So, for that, we need the spiritual wisdom, attitude of universal brotherhood. Then we go beyond and nobody can stop us. As we see further, that when they perform that task so efficiently, then Vishwamitraji takes them to King Janak's kingdom, Mithila, where he was going to perform a Swayamvar for his daughter Sita. But as they go on their way, they meet Ahalya, who was turned into a stone on the basis of a curse. And when Sri Ram touches his feet, she revives. Today in the world also we find that there are certain people with whom so much of injustice is being done that finally they become stone-hearted. Not just stone-hearted, but the intellect also turns into a stone-like intellect. They cannot think, they cannot feel, they lose interest from life. They are living a life but as if dead of all sensations. So much in a depressed stage. They are Ahilyas because of certain happenings that has occurred in their life. They lost the interest of life. And they lead such a life but without any feelings, without any sensations. It's like a stone only. So when we find that when some people also, they come in the company of spirituality, the spiritual wisdom that they get slowly and gradually is starting to change their hearts and the intellects. And when they start changing, they revive. And they start with that ray of hope in their life that we can lead a normal life. We can come back into this world and we will be accepted by the world as well if we inculcate this spirituality. So the touch of Sri Ram's feet signifies the touch of spiritual wisdom is necessary to revive those human beings who have lost interest in their life, who have become stone-hearted, stone intellect, and they come back to their sensibilities.